So, I'm Sreejith. I'm coming from Kerala. I was doing my post graduation before coming here from University of Delhi in political science masters, and was planning for my further studies, research, and other teaching opportunities everywhere. So I started applying for a lot of fellowships, research assistants, everything, and PhD, everything. So finally, I ended up with ELICIT. Yeah, that's. Oh, mm, actually, there was no confusion in when I was applying for this fellowship and when I decided that I should join this fellowship. Uh, it was already clear in my mind that during my college days I already decided that I will do my research in future and or I will end up in teaching profession. So I thought this will be one of my best start for my career in teaching basically. And next was Kashmir. That was of course a a beautiful place to work with, and I also thought of different people from different community, different culture, and as a person from Kerala, it will be very interesting to explore a place which I'm not been. So yeah, so basically decision was very clear. Before coming here, I thought of, especially regarding the students and school system here, I thought of a very normal classroom, like an average Indian students classroom everywhere. But after coming here, it was very different. The attitude of students, the things they do, the thoughts they have in mind, and the community which they are in, and the conflict which they are in, and the experience which they have in their little age. That's we cannot compare that with any average Indian student of their age. So it's a very big challenge to survive here, of course. But there are things in community, in school, with students that will keep you survive and thrive. Before coming here, I was just thinking of this is a teaching profession I have to be in, or I should be in. So that was the only self growth I was anticipating, and like luckily or fortunately, I'm in that pace of developing my professional career and self growth. So that's there. So before coming here, I talked with my father. He was here in Kashmir for 5 years. He was in army. So yeah, obviously I have started communicating with him about this fellowship, and I'm leaving for this. Initially he never said no to any of my decision. This also, it was up to me to decide whether I should go or not. But he have shared a lot of his personal stories from Kashmir about this community, about the all the activities which he was involved in as an army person, the things he saw in the state, within the community, and the conflict he have faced, and the armed conflict, like the practicality that he have faced in his life. So everything was sort of fear was already there in my mind before coming here. So that was the biggest baggage which I hold. Will anything happen? Will some serious trouble will happen to me or not? Yeah. So, but that's both both sides fearful, and it's also exciting. Yeah, obviously there were more challenges than things which I connected, of course, because yeah, as I said, it was my first workspace, and that too in Pulwama. it was a great frog leap, which I'll say. I jumped. It was a very different place I reached. So yeah, that was the first challenge. To be in this space it was a very big challenge. Still, that's a challenge, but March it was like so big when I look back to March. But main thing was yes, of course, when it come to teaching, more making this lesson plans, understanding the illicit curriculum, the skill goals, rubrics, everything. So making lesson plans for first, I still remember my first lesson plan. Monday was my March 13th was my first class. March 12th was Sunday. We went to market. We bought. I'm thinking, oh, how to make lesson plan, how to make a lesson plan. So that was a big challenge for me. Now I am so why did I felt like that? Now it's become very easy to make a lesson plan. And things which I connected in my class was uh, the attitude of children, which I think most of the time how children behaved, or what children thinks have not much changed when I was a kid. There are a lot of things which I can relate with them which I did in my school days when I was studying in my 6th, 7th and 9th standard, 8th standard, which I have did how I reacted to some of teachers and how I behaved in classes. So like most of their attitude was very similar. So that connected easily. So yeah, of course, the training was very useful because even though like the training was very short, but it was very precise, and there was always constant communication with the with the team, whether it is Lopa, whether it is you. There was a constant communication though. So if this is not working, then it's not working. Then what to do next? Like after every class, this doesn't work. This worked. So next plan, what we have to change. And initially, I still remember I was always thinking from my perspective. Okay, if I did this, students will be doing that, like, or students should have done that. It was like I was thinking all ideal, like this should have happened in my class if I did this. But later, after first month, after second month, I realized that it took me 2 months to realize this thing. What is my students actually doing? From that point, I should create lesson plan. Don't think of an ideal situation where students can do something, but my experience in my classroom, what is the capacity of my students to do this skill? According to that, I should make something. Otherwise, it's not valid for them. There are very few documented success in the career. There are a lot of success which every personal symbol experience which students are success for a teacher. Any very little change we see in the classroom and okay, because of our intervention or our culture building, next day we see okay, students are trying to follow something in the classroom. Okay, students are trying to react to this very positively. That's of course a very big success. And one of my huge problem which I was facing, after my training, like most of my co-fellows basically, they were very effective in their classroom management. I was very below that line because my classroom discipline and management was very below average. But later I initiated this positive reinforcement approach of psychology, like reward point system basically, which a lot of people use in their work. I call it my privilege point system in the classroom, which it's very simple. If they show some accepted or positive behavior in their academic performance or in their classroom behavior, every behavioral change will be rewarded with points. So in a week, if they collected more than 10 points, one of my class will be free for them. They can choose what to do in that class. It can be sports, it can be movies, it can be anything. So that positive reinforcement technique have worked really well means it's worked really well. So I'm seeing a huge change in my classroom after the implementation of that system, because everything becomes so easy. Like my pen is talking in the class. Like I don't have to shout, or I don't have to use all those techniques. Just take my pen and everything is on table. So yeah, it's just a miracle. Yeah, as a teacher, as I said, it's a tremendous growth from from a college boy, basically from a college boy to now, I don't know, can call it, but to a facilitator, to a responsible facilitator. It's a huge growth for me because, as I said, from basic classroom management to lesson planning, now at least I can say that, like, okay, I have reached a skill, reached a position where I can go to a classroom, like I can give or I can facilitate for at least 30 minutes, or I can, create my own classroom management techniques, or I can create my own classroom management rules, constitutions, everything. So professionally, when I think that that's my growth, like growth as a teacher. And when I see myself in 2022 February March, and when I see myself with my students, in front of me in 2023 September October, we are sitting. It's a very huge change, and the change literally comes from the students, which they wanted to see in themselves. It's not something, somebody from a higher power authority implementing something and everybody, accepting that. But it's just opposite. It's a collective responsibility of a classroom that which they wanted to see within themselves, and but now they are seeing it actually. Like, as a team, how should we work, and as a team, what all things we do as a classroom, and to get something from the teacher or to get something from the facilitator. So everything, they themselves are not trying to take the responsibility in the classroom. So that is a tremendous change, I can say. So basically, that change itself is a social change which we are trying to see in the society. That's taking care is the most important thing in Pulwama, or basically in Kashmir right now, because now we always see Kashmir as a place to chill. Let's just trip to Kashmir. Oh, I also done that long back. So, but the scene, the picture that you see when you are in trip in Kashmir, and now when you're working in a conflict space in Kashmir, it's very it's very different. First of all, so taking care is very important in that point. Now, like, so we used to that's what my point here is. So this, the classroom management system itself is helping me, not only students to get reward points. Reward point is for me also. So I used to play with my kids, like one of my class every week. So every week one of my class is a sports class, and used to play cricket, football, badminton. Used to just talk and chill with my students, and after coming from school, we started playing cricket right now. So all those rest moments and very good sleep whenever you get time, do heavy sleep. So that's a biggest thing you can do to your body, help. So yeah, so all these small little things they're really helping actually, and that's one of the reason we are like still moving forward, not developing. Theoretically speaking, in a post-truth society we living in, truth, true, everything is very subjective, and there is no black and white. Of course, everything is gray for us, for me basically. So, but yeah, the truth actually changed, because as I said in the beginning, like the truth which I came here with is, from my father's perspective, which I came here is completely different from what I see in this society. Of course, conflict is there. Of course, there are gray or black shades in the society which you are living in. There are people, of course, that Pulwama is, or South Kashmir is a place in India. It's a place in world. It's a place where like society living here for years, and of course religion influencing a lot, conservatism, of course toxicity. Everywhere we can see everything. So it's in there. But the perspective, the truth, the grand narrative which we are hearing outside Kashmir, it's completely wrong, 90% wrong. There are like the life can be good here. The life is good here, like to a point, and the people which you see are is even though there are differences and difficulties in connecting with emotionally connecting with people here, but it's still a very safe space for me, as far as my community I am concerned. I don't know about every people of Pulwama, of course not. The community which I am living in, our space, our living space, our school space, the very little space we are living in, it's of course safe space for me. So there are good people around. It's a good changed for me, I believe. You know, every day the way of facilitating is changing. Everything is changing day by day. New technologies are coming in, especially the artificial intelligence. So it's a space of big competition. Like AIs are becoming more efficient teachers than human beings do. So always the uncharted territory I always try to figure is like classroom innovations. Like which like classroom as a space where human beings participate. Like students are not machines who when you ask them to write they write, ask them to read they read. Apart from that, there you can see always a space for especially in social science, which I am concerned with. There is always a space for heavy critical debates and discussions in the classroom. So that's an uncharted territory which I still want to explore, because there are only very few students which are trying to be in that space of social science. But now when you try to innovate your classroom management to think differently from traditional methods of teaching, there is always a chance for that outside the classroom. Like just break that small little boundary and you can innovate there. So basically trying to record the human emotions in the classroom rather than doing it very practically. Will of course skills and mainstream system is like that. You need numbers on the paper, nothing else will work. After the end of the day, numbers matters, of course matters, but more than that to capture human emotions and to connect with human emotions inside the classroom it's a territory where most of the teachers have failed or not yet reached there. So I am trying to focus on that more. So I think I need to create I need to make my plans according to that thing. After one session or one chapter is or one idea or one concept is completed, what are the things they are coming up with, negating that entire concept. Or as as a person who rooted in Kashmir, as a person who are following set of rules, regulations and culture in Kashmir, how is that person or what that person will be adding to the existing knowledge which we are sharing in the classroom. So I need to innovate my plans according to that. So I can also see the influence of community on the student's mind or student's thought, how community is influencing through my or through the student's mind, and from my classroom teaching, what are the things that they are giving me back after a session or after a class. Prepare for the never normal. So that's the first thing. And please come or please join if you have if you have that attitude in your mind that I am here to do something which is very difficult to do, but same way it will be so exciting to see the children and the community and the people you're working with. After you have done something, the reaction from them or the respect and the love they are showing us, that will be very good for you to see that, to witness that visibly, like with your eyes. So that for that, if you have really, if you want to really do something and to see the change which you want to see, of course, so conflict is there, like a lot of conflict is there. I'm not talking about armed conflict, that's lot of news are there. Don't believe in all those things. But conflict with the human emotions, conflict are there. So if you really want to address that, if you want to really, navigate through those conflicts, the journey is so exciting. So please come up with that excitement. That's